So welcome here this morning to Fennor Farm. We're going to discuss the 26th Gigginstown Angus pedigree sale, which is taking place here in Fennor on Saturday the 22nd of April. We have 45 head of cattle to sell, 25 pedigree bulls and 20 pedigree heifers. 15 of the heifers are in calf, 1 or 2 might even have calved by the day of the sale, and 5 maiden heifers. We've been investing heavily in the last number of years, bringing in champion bulls. We were very fortunate last year. We bought the Irish Angus champion Mogeely Dram. We were fortunate in the Shadwell Dispersion in the UK. We bought the Perth champion Stoop Master Prince. So we're supplementing the genetics all the time. But you're going to see bulls here, pedigree bulls, with very strong 5 stars on replacement and terminal numbers. By all of the main Canadian, Irish and UK champion bulls in recent years. Joe went to the sale last May. We were fortunate to secure 21 of the 94 cattle on sale, including their young champion bull. And we bought some very expensive but very well-bred in-calf heifers and also cows with calf at foot. I mean, it was an incredible sale. You know, we paid about 170,000 euros for 21 cattle, you know, which is a pretty high average. It'll be next year, in next year's sale, before we'll have the first of the heifers and hopefully some of the calves coming from Stoop Master Prince, who's breeding very well. We're very pleased with him. We have a red Angus herd now that comprises about 30 cows and in-calf heifers. This year the numbers are up slightly, so we have 2 red bulls and we have 2 red Angus heifers as well. Both are in-calf heifers. Both of those are crossed to our own red bull here, who's performing very well. So we started off originally just selling to bulls to dairy farmers. We didn't have enough. We weren't selling many females. Now that the herd, you know, we've enlarged in the herd. We have about 450 breeding cows and heifers. What we've seen is a transition in recent years. We still sell probably half the bulls are being sold to dairymen, but half of the bulls are going to other pedigree breeders who are looking to get the Gigginstown genetics in their herd. And we've gradually increased the heifer numbers as well. So as I said, this year we have a band of 20 heifers, 15 of them will be in calf and 5 maiden heifers. Most of the in-calf heifers are all in calf to last year's Irish champion, Mogeely Dram. And we think they'll prove to be very successful foundation stock for other pedigree herds across Ireland. What we're trying to do is to get a nice, strong, well-bred bull, same with the heifers, but then obviously there's been a focus in recent years on the replacement of the terminal star rankings. Most of the bulls we have on offer this year would be 5 or 4 star our bulls, and most of the heifers are 4 and 5 star as well. So we started here back in the early 1990s, or the late 1980s. I mean, at the time it was very fashionable to be breeding Charolais and Blonde Aquitaines, big French plough pullers. I didn't like those cattle particularly. I thought they were too big, you know, and they weren't good on the land. I always liked the Aberdeen Angus. The fact that they're kind of an indigenous breed to Ireland, it appeals to me. They're easy calving, and for someone like me, who's a bit of a hobby farmer, you know, firstly they look well. They're easy calving. We don't have very expensive vet bills. There's a certain expense in building up the herd. Like we built lots of sheds, but they're a wonderful animal to work with. They have very nice traits, and for farmers, they're an easier animal to rear, to calve and to rear. And I think that longer term, you know, Ireland should focus more on producing quality beef. Angus, Herefords, the indigenous ones, and less on the big trophy blondes and Charolais. I've nothing against blondes and Charolais, I just don't like them. I think farmers are attracting a lot of adverse criticism. A lot of the environmental lobby wants to target somebody like aviation. Accounts for 2% of Europe's CO2 emissions. It's tiny, despite the millions that we carry on an annualized basis. I think farmers don't get enough credit for the work they do actually on carbon, maintaining hedgerows, trees, grassland itself. And farmers need to be much more, I think, put their best foot forward. You know, we are producing high quality food. I think there's going to be a trade-off in time when people begin to realize that some of the more loony ideas that are coming out of the environmental lobby will dramatically increase food prices. You know, we need to produce in this country high quality food, but at a price that the consumer can afford. and will do so, and I think we increasingly do so, in an environmentally sustainable way. As the world population rises, demand for food is going to continue to strengthen. I think people have taken for granted, low-cost food in the last 10, 20 years. I think the cost of food will rise over the next 5 or 10 years. Farmers need to be adequately rewarded for, and particularly in Irish farming, the phenomenal job they do. They produce the best quality food in the world. And I think the future is bright for those farmers who can continue to produce that quality of food efficiently and well. We're great fans of the STAR system. I think it's a good system. It does promote quality, and that's what we want. We need, as a producer of food here, particularly a producer of beef in this country, to focus on quality. Farmers who've done well in recent years are the farmers who have, producing their own feed. They're largely insulated from the very high, and feed costs went through the roof. Okay, we still have cost of fertilizer is rising, but it's easy for me because we have a reasonably large scale operation here. We're farming about 2,000 acres. But it means that we're largely insulated from a lot of the input inflation that many smaller farmers have suffered in the last number of years. I flew the original 20 heifers that were the foundation heifers for this herd in from Canada 25 years ago. I'm probably still paying for the cost of those flights. What I would like to see would be, we do more of the calf rearing here, produce more veal for the European market. But ultimately, I think we will have to continue to have a live export facility. It's just much more difficult now with the post-Brexit. The Certified Angus beef program has been a terrific success over the last 10 or 15 years, and I think it does give farmers a realistic alternative going forward. You cover the dairy cow with an Angus bull, and you're producing an animal that will ultimately finish up within 2 years in the Certified Angus beef program. We're running the sale associated Ballyjames-Duff Mart and Marti. It'll be both here on farm, but also online from 12:30. The online facility worked very well during COVID. I think it's something that we're very pleased with. Everybody's welcome. We'll have seating here for about 600 people on the day of the sale. Ballyjames-Duff will run the mart. Joe and the team will be on hand here to help anybody who wants any questions about the cattle on the day. And we're looking forward to hopefully what will be a sunny, dry day, and a bit of fun will be had by everybody. We have extensive pre-sale coverage on Agriland. We are producing the catalogue for this year's sale is going to press this evening. We're producing about 800 copies. We're sending it to all our regulars, and also then we're advertising it heavily on Agriland and all of the main farming publications over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Inspection starts at 11:30, and the sale will start here and online via the Marti website at 12:30.